Usually, vaccine testing and production are separate steps. But because of the pandemic, vaccines are being developed on parallel tracks. So both steps are happening just at the same time.
How are the vaccines being tested?
Right now, several different COVID vaccines are in testing. Each go through multiple clinical trials with up to thousands of volunteers.
How do vaccines get approved?
Not all COVID vaccine versions will make it to the final stages of testing and approval. Produced vaccines that do not pass clinical trials will be destroyed. But for those that do pass, a team of medical experts will examine test results and possible side effects. If the vaccine is effective and safe, it gets approved and gets to you. Go to covidvaccinewa.org to learn more. A message from the state of Washington.
Join Rainier Avenue Radio from 5 to midnight for Sunday evening sound sessions. Jazz from the cabinets, from Big Pop.
That's right. It's time once again. Jazz from the cabinets.
Sergio LaCour's Love Line.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Go to the phone line. Tell her who we talking to.
Sage Prince, Just My Opinion.
This is Sage, and that's just about going to do it for the first half of Just My Opinion.
K-Fox Night Beat with Nasty Ness Rodriguez.
It's the beat of the Fox. K-Fox Night Beat, Nasty Ness.
You know what? You're going to listen from 5 to midnight. Just turn it on and don't stop. DJ Alibaba. The Underground Surround Sound Start Time. Paul Pinch.
Tuning in. My name is Paul Pearson.
Sunday evening sound sessions on Rainier Avenue Radio. Trust me, you'll be listening the entire time from 5 to mid Sunday evening. Your sound session on Rainier Avenue Radio.
And welcome to our live studio audience for another exciting edition of And here we go with round one. Did you know?
The COVID vaccine is free and easy to get. You don't need insurance or an appointment to get your vaccine. Vaccines are available at many locations near you.
And now we're going to double the value. Did you know?
The COVID-19 vaccine is always free of cost. You can visit pharmacies, community health centers, and other health providers in your neighborhood.
And now for the lightning round. Did you know?
Delta variant of COVID is a mutation that has health experts worried because it's twice as contagious.
Then for our finale. Did you know?
The best way to protect yourself from the COVID Delta variant is to get fully vaccinated. Get your vaccine today.
Find out more at kingcounty.gov/vaccine. Did you know?
Rainier Avenue Radio. Seattle's best music, talk, and sports station.
Oh, it's 7 o'clock and your favorite radio show is on. This is LidLine Sports, you know. Welcome back, everybody, to LidLine Sports right here on Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Mr. Daniel and the O, Otis Stevenson, clowning a brother, but that's okay. That's what happens.
Oh, was that my cue to step in?
I'm Pep, in case you didn't know. What's happening, everybody? What's happening, O?
Okay. I missed that one. I'm doing pretty good, Pep. How you doing?
You're good, man. You didn't miss anything, man. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, very good weekend. Basketball packed, NBA packed, of course, man.
Yes.
Getting to, chill out with some fam and, watch some basketballs. That's always a great weekend for me.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, so the NBA got underway. So the play-ins are done, and we are into the actual playoff rounds. And, of course, we will get into all of that a little bit later. The Seattle Kraken finished their season. They were above 500, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they finished above 500, but failed to make the playoffs, and now they are questioning whether or not Dave Hextall will be able to keep his job. What do you think?
I mean, this is a franchise that just started. I mean,
right.
That's crazy to hear that his job would be on the line right after he just made a playoff run
last year, right?
Yeah, this doesn't work like this. This is professional sports. It's hard to make the playoffs. In any professional sport. So no, he has respect in my mind. I don't understand why he would go after one I wouldn't even technically call it a failed year. Pep, as you said, they went over 500.
Right.
We're in the still early stages of this franchise. No, doing a good job in my eyes.
Okay. I'm kind of with you on that. I'm not looking to get rid of him. I haven't heard any locker room issues. I haven't heard any players complaining or none of that. So as long as that's not happening, yeah, I'd say keep him.
Yeah.
They took a step back, but you know what? Maybe they are where they're supposed to be.
Exactly.
Because last year was an anomaly. They made the playoffs, won a playoff round, beating the then defending champion Colorado Avalanche before losing in 7 games to the Dallas Stars. So realistically, they probably overachieved last year, and right now this is probably where they're supposed to be and where they're at.
Exactly.
So I can't really get mad at that. So folks, slow down. About firing and Hextall. Let them cook this year, coming up next season, and see what happens. Now, if they fall off severely, then there might be a problem. Then you might want to take a look at a change. But up until that happens, I think they'll be fine. They should just keep what status quo.
Yep, agree.
We did talk about the WNBA last week. What do you think about Caitlin Clark's Nike deal?
Oh man, this is just the beginning, man. It just keeps opening doors for just the endorsement part, and these women starting to make more money now on the back end, not just the WNBA, but sponsorships and things like that. And I think Nike has been doing a really good job in the women's department of helping grow this game. Sabrina Ionescu, she dropped her first shoe through Nike last year, and it was really popular.
Okay.
And sold well, not just with women, but with the men as well. Like I said, I shout out to Nike, for doing their part in, helping growing women's basketball globally and taking care of their star players. So yeah, shout out to Caitlin for that.
Yes, you made the positives, but I have a little negative for you. When you just spoke of Ionescu, and then of course Caitlin Clark has shoe deals. Those are 2 Caucasian females. What happened to the black athletes that have been dominant in the WNBA for many years, and excluding, of course, Diana Taurasi, because she never got a deal, right? And she's probably been, if not the best or the at least top 3 in WNBA players ever so far. So that's been the talk. I mean, this is not just me. This is just what's been going on, in social media, saying, well, how come Maya Moore didn't get a shoe deal, and players like that? How come
she got a shoe deal?
Oh, she did?
With Jordan.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she was the first Jordan women's athlete.
Okay, then what are people talking about? What am I talking about?
I will say I don't know if she ever got a signature shoe, but I know it was a big deal because she was like she was like the first women basketball athlete.
So maybe you just hit it when you said signature. Okay, so maybe that's it. All right.
And my rebuttal to that is very fair, opinion to bring up. I think this just goes back to, the marketability maybe behind women's basketball back then, and just Nike not seeing any way to make profit off some of those black athletes back in the WNBA who were really nice, because there was nobody who had shoe deals. I think Sue Bird had a Nike shoe deal, and I think she had a Nike shoe. But I mean, I get what you're saying, because there's WNBA players now that are African American women who deserve big shoe deals. I mean, first name that comes to mind is Aja Wilson. We can talk about, and I know, when we brought up this conversation, I'm talking about all the veterans that are coming in, or like that are hearing all this Caitlin noise. She's number 1 on my list of just how she already plays with a chip on her shoulder. This has already been her league.
Right.
She's not going nowhere near soon. And in my opinion, she should be the face of the WNBA. And I get it, the marketability that comes behind Caitlin, but Aja Wilson is very marketable, very social, and is, in my opinion, until somebody says otherwise, the best WNBA player in the league.
Okay.
So Like I said, I hear the bullet points that you're getting.
Yeah, and we can speak on the Gold Mamba, Jewel Lloyd, Seattle Storm. I'm now seeing her in commercials. She's in that one commercial. Was it Geico?
Yep.
No, State Farm. I'm sorry. State Farm. So yeah, good for her, and it's good that a lot more WNBA women are getting their face in the public eye. And so that's good, because we saw Caitlin in the State Farm commercial as well. So yeah, that's good. I'm looking forward to the WNBA season, which starts May 14th. The Seattle Storm actually have a home game. I can't remember who the heck they play. Doggone it, I forget. But I looked it up yesterday, as a matter of fact, and now I've already forgotten. Well, yeah. There's Daniel clowning again, man. Oh boy.
The Minnesota Lynx.
That's right, the Lynx. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah. Oh, all right. Good job, O. That's what I got you here for. That's why I got a partner, as somebody used to say. Yeah. So did you happen to check out the big fight that happened Saturday?
Yeah, so it's funny. I'm just laying down, and lately I've been going to sleep at a pretty decent time, and I think it was already, I know.
Are you over 30 yet?
I am over 30.
Oh, there it is.
I have a special lady friend who I've been hanging around, and she goes to sleep around like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and it's been rubbing off on me. So,
woo, I like that.
So I think I told you I watched the first round, and we're talking about Devin Haney and
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia came out patiently but aggressive, landing left hooks on Devin Haney, and I watched Devin Haney's last fight, and I was like, Garcia has a chance to winning this fight, and I know he's the stronger puncher out of the two. But yeah, by the second round, halfway through, I fell asleep. Woke up the next morning, watched the highlights, and Ryan Garcia was tagging Devin Haney, man. And he was overwhelming. What's the word?
Favorite?
Yes, overwhelming favorite. Devin Haney was, and I think he got knocked down 3 times. One of them
three times.
3 times. And it looked like that fight should have. I don't know if it was after the last knockdown. I think he got saved by the ref. But yeah, man. Ryan Garcia. I like him. I'm not a big Devin Haney fan, and this is the second time I've seen him play, and I just wasn't impressed, or fight and wasn't impressed.
Well, there was some controversy before the fight. Well, in the days leading up to the fight. Garcia's mental state was a big concern. He had shown signs of, not being in the right frame of mind of leading up to the fight. But the real concern, at least for Haney, was those left hooks of Garcia. But unfortunately for Garcia, the WBC super lightweight belt was not on the line because Garcia did not make the required weight on Friday. He came 3 pounds over. And he had bet Haney $500,000 per pound that he would be over 140. So he had to give up 1.5 million. And Haney said he did pay up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is super crazy. But
this is a sport that, yes, you want the title, that bragging rights, and you're still getting your purse. That bragging rights, man, it means a lot in that sport. Like, yeah, you want that title, but to say at the end of the day, I not only did I beat you, I pretty much tore you up from round 1 through 12.
Right.
I think he'll take that, and I mean, of course, you want that belt, but I think he'll live with that.
Okay. Yeah, and also during the weigh-in, Garcia appeared to be chugging a beer on the scale, but he later tweeted that it was apple juice and sparkling water. Okay. So who knows?
I thought. Ain't no way.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, I didn't watch it. I'm not into the fights. I barely know any of these guys, to be honest. But you know, I've been seeing so much about this particular fight that was coming up, so I figured we better give it some attention.
Yep.
So yeah, this week the NFL draft finally is here, and bro, nobody, and I mean nobody, is more happy about that than I am.
And I'm right behind you.
I am so sick of mock draft 325.7. I'm sick of what's his name?
Mel Kiper.
Thank you. Helmet head. I'm sick of all these mocks. I'm sick of all these predictions. Who's gonna do what?
Yeah.
Man, please. I don't care. I
Yeah.
just wanted to get it going and watch and see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. It's, you know what, the first pick's not even interesting because it's a foregone conclusion that the Chicago Bears are going to pick Caleb Williams.
Yep.
The most interesting thing after that is 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Especially number 2.
Yep.
Because you don't know if Washington's going to pick Jaden Daniels. And look, I heard that he had a visit last week. And he was kind of upset because he went to Washington Commanders facility, but he wasn't the only one there.
Oh.
There were other quarterbacks being hosted. He thought he was the only one going to be there. So he was kind of pouting and not too happy about the situation. So there's speculation that he would rather they not pick him.
It's a business. I mean, what does he expect? I mean, the Washington Commanders have to do the due diligence too. I mean,
Thank you.
This is the part of it. But you know, I still think it's funny. I think I heard that quarterback from Michigan,
JJ McCarthy,
that he has really high odds to go number 2 as well. So,
what? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really interested. I think after, just like you said, the Chicago Bears pick, the dominoes will start to etch out who is going to go where, starting with number 2. Because you said it, the Commanders need a quarterback, the Patriots need a quarterback,
right?
But then after that, you got the Giants at 6 need a quarterback. But it's going to be really interesting, especially with the quarterbacks that are in this draft, who goes where, and then we've already agreed, me and you, that Michael Penix Jr. Should be the second quarterback taken. Still confused on how that would happen. And, I got a question for you, Pep. So we got Cowboys at 24. Dak Prescott is in the last year of his contract. If so, that maybe J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix falls to 24, do you draft a quarterback?
Is okay? I'll answer that, but let me pose a question to you. Is Dak Prescott worth $60 million per year? If he is, then you're not going to draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
So this draft is interesting in that aspect as well, because when the Dallas Cowboys turn the draft and a quarterback the caliber of Penix is available and they take him, there could be your answer.
Yeah.
Or if they don't take him,
maybe that's our answer.
Yeah. And then now I wouldn't pay $60 million a year for Dak Prescott. I mean, look, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I'm saying he's a good quarterback, but he's not a quarterback so far that has told me he's going to take me all the way to the Super Bowl. And that's what you're going to pay. If you're going to pay a guy $60 million, that's what he better be doing.
Exactly.
And I'm not trying to knock the guy, but he hasn't done it.
Yep.
And there's only one, to me, see, we mentioned this weeks ago after the Super Bowl. To me, there's only one elite quarterback in the NFL, and that's Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
He's the only elite quarterback in the NFL. We have to stop throwing words around, like elite and superstar, supernatural, unbelievable, all that. Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes has shown that he's an elite quarterback because whether they're home, they start off at home, he wins. If they start off the playoffs on the road, he wins again. He beats a team that's loaded in San Francisco again, right?
Yeah.
The guy's an elite quarterback. Everybody else in the top 2 to 7, they're very good. They're not elite. Josh Allen is not an elite quarterback.
Agree.
He's very good, but he's 0-6 when it matters, and 0-6 in the overtime. That's not an elite quarterback, folks.
Same with Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson is elite quarterback in the regular season. But if you want to be elite,
exactly,
then you have to do it in the playoffs.
That's in every sport. That's what separates from being like an all-star caliber player to being a superstar elite player. It's performing when it matters the most.
Yes.
So I agree with you.
There's no question Lamar should be
an
elite quarterback, but he ran into one.
Yep.
And what happened? He got beat.
Yeah.
You know, and as a matter of fact, they did nothing offensively.
Exactly.
And yes, Kansas City actually struggled in that game, but he still found a way to win.
Yep.
So I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes is the only elite quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is no longer an elite quarterback, and he hasn't been for a while.
Yep.
I mean, when's the last time he's won a Super Bowl? Cue the crickets. Yeah, because it's been 2010, folks.
Yeah.
14 years ago was the last time Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl.
It's funny.
Wow.
It's funny you make these points, and it's like every year we see these teams scramble to find, just a good I like put some of these quarterbacks on a pedestal to get them, and like you say, Aaron Rodgers, and you have the New York Jets scrambling to get this guy.
Speaking of the Jets,
man,
they made a blockbuster trade today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You didn't know? Did you know?
Blockbuster? What happened?
Well, they traded with the Denver Broncos for Russ. Oh, no, not Russ. Russ is not in Denver anymore. Denver picked up another Wilson.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson from the New York Jets, Jets. Bums. Sorry, Andrew. But until they do something, that's what they're going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zach Wilson is now a Denver Bronco for a 6th round pick, and a 7th round pick went back to Denver along with Zach. So yeah. So that's the big blockbuster, folks. That was it. I mean, yeah.
You have folks thinking something big was happening.
Oh, well, sorry. That was it. So yeah, so now the NFL draft coming up this Thursday, April 25th, and of course the draft is 3 days. You got the first round on Thursday, and then the second, third rounds on Friday, and then everything else after on Saturday. It's an all-day event, and I actually watched a lot of it last year. It was because it was pretty interesting to me, and I'm so amazed at ESPN. I mean, they are who they are. I mean, they're outstanding. They've been doing it since 1979. That's 45 years.
Yep.
And what amazes me is they can find a guy in the 7th round, like, I don't know, like Pickles Mahoney, and they got film on him immediately.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, we got to wait a few minutes before we get the film. No, they cue it up immediately.
Yep.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, they got Dabney Jackson, somebody you never heard of, in the 5th round, and they got him. They got him up. So yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward. But the draft order, let's review it real quick. The Bears are picking first, and we know who they're going to pick. And then it's going to get interesting once the Washington Commanders pick at number 2. Number 3 is the Patriots. Number 4 That's going to be another interesting one
Uh-huh.
because it looks like that's the spot Marvin Harrison Jr. will go, or Malik Neighbors,
Uh-huh.
or Rome Odunze,
Uh-huh.
or somebody else.
Uh-huh.
I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
it's like that.
Yeah.
You know, now we know that the Cardinals are listening.
Uh-huh.
You know, because I'm sure there are other teams that want to move up to that number 4 spot. Maybe not necessarily to pick Marvin Harrison, but I said last year, if in the 2024 draft, if Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming out, I'm taking him.
Yeah.
That guy is amazing. But Rome Odunze is right there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because the year that Odunze had this year had me thinking, you know what? Yeah, I'll still say that Harrison Jr. is my number 1 guy, but Odunze is like 1 capital A.
Okay.
Not little a, 1 capital A. And then you got Malik Neighbors is right there too. So out of LSU.
Okay.
So the Cardinals, we don't know. They could pick one of those 3. I'm thinking Harrison Jr. For them. So yeah. And then the Chargers, I got number 5. The New York Football Giants at number 6. Number 8 would be the Tennessee. Number 7 is the Tennessee Titans. Whoa, did I pass kindergarten? 6, 8. What's up? Yeah. Atlanta as at number 8. Number 9 is the Bears again. That's interesting because they're gonna be able to pick up
another weapon.
Look,
yeah.
Marvin Harrison might drop.
Yeah.
If they get Caleb,
yeah, that'd be nice.
And Harrison Jr. Wow.
Yes. That would be nice.
Yeah. And the JETS, New York Gangrene, will be picking number 10. And for those that are interested, well, I'm sure you know, the Seattle Seahawks here up in the Great Pacific Northwest will be picking, supposedly, picking at number 16.
We know the history behind that.
We do. It's a history because they've always been in the 20s, and I've already explained that ad nauseum. I don't need to bore you with that. Last year they picked at number 5, and they kept that pick, thank goodness. And so this year it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I really absolutely do not have any clue. John Schneider's kind of hiding his poker face, whether or not they're going to actually trade down. And in this instance, I get it if they do, because basically you can get the same talent at 16 that you could at 22, 23. It depends on how far they trade down. And then it depends on what they want back as far as doing that. Like, if they want a second rounder, then that tells me they got a target.
Yeah.
They got a target, not only for the first round, but definitely have a target for that second round pick. So that would be pretty interesting. So, yeah. All right. So that was the first half. So when we come back, we are going to talk about the NBA playoffs in full effect. And I'm sure O is chomping at the bit to do that. So
Yes,
don't go away. We will be right back.
Rainier Avenue Radio.
We need your help finding community members to help shape the future of your utilities and the environment. We have 2 exciting opportunities for the public to work with Seattle Public Utilities, the Customer Review Panel, CRP, and the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, SWAC. CRP and SWAC are looking for new members to contribute expertise and passion to help improve utility services and advance our commitment to environmental stewardship and social justice. Applications can be found at seattle.gov/utilities/community-advisory-recruitment. Hey, can you run that back? Applications can be found at seattle.gov/utilities/community-advisory-recruitment. Thank you. Application deadline for both opportunities is Tuesday, April 23rd.
The beat of the Fox with nastiness is back on K Fox Night Beat.
Yo, what's the deal? It's the legendary Hall of Fame DJ Mixmaster Ice, UTFO.
What's up? Who you thought this is? This is Sir Mix-a-Lot.
And this is Terry Lewis.
And I'm Grand Mixer GMS.
What's up, y'all? This is DJ Third Degree.
This is JJ Hudson from the High Children family.
Sunday nights from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's K Fox Night Beat with DJ Nastiness.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music. Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
That's right. Keep noise.
Peace.
What's going on, world? It's your boy OG Mambo.
And your guy D Money. Join us along with Pint Size Patron and ID Yourself.
Here on Fresh Juice at Rainier Avenue Radio.
Every Wednesday hump day from 9 to 11 Pacific.
Get exclusive interviews from your favorite artists, all the hottest music, and updates on what we got going on in the world.
That's every Wednesday, 9 to 11 p.m. on Seattle's Rainier Avenue Radio.
Dealing with COVID-19 is uncharted territory, and everyone has different challenges. People may feel anxious, down, or overwhelmed. For some, these feelings can lead to changes in sleep patterns, an increased use of alcohol or drugs, or withdrawing from the people around them. If you know someone who's having a hard time coping, you can help by reaching out to talk and listen. To learn more about how you can help someone in need, call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK. Brought to you by the state of Washington.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not helping bad girls set up their websites, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Welcome back, everybody, to your favorite show, LidLine Sports, right here on Rainier Avenue Radio .world. All this week, Earth Deserves More Than a Day is currently in session every day this week, and with special environmental programming until Friday between every day until Friday between the hours of 10 and 5 p.m. Tomorrow, be here for at 10 a.m. Resilience. What was that? Oh, Resilience Hub. Thank you. Resilience Hub panel at 12:30. You got Solid Grounds Rent Start presentations. Man, I'm trying to read this doctor's handwriting over here. At 2 p.m. you got Community of Conscience panel, and at 3:30 p.m. you got Circular Economy Business Park panel. So do not miss any of that. So tomorrow, and remember, all this week, Earth deserves more than a day. Right here on Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Oh, we are in the midst of the NBA playoffs, and the home team has dominated so far, 10-0. And when was the last time we've seen that?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that.
And you would think that would happen, more often, but it doesn't. And for me, it's not, to the teams that did lose, it's not too alarming unless you're down 2-0, which still then it shouldn't be too alarming. Everybody remember, the home team is supposed to do their job and, protect home court. Every home team so far has won, and that includes now the Cleveland Cavaliers being up 2-0 on the Orlando Magic. Pep, this is a really interesting series to me because, we sat here last Monday and we spoke that the Cavaliers will win the series based off of the experience they have over Orlando Magic.
Payal.
But man, I didn't think it'd look like this. That first game, the struggles with the Orlando Magic were just so loud. Paulo is having to do so much with the ball in his hands, and it causes a lot of turnovers on his end. He also has a lot of turnovers. He had a lot of turnovers in the regular season. But I just think for me too is he didn't have much help game one, and Donovan Mitchell went berserk, and he did today again too as well. In my opinion, the Orlando Magic will continue to struggle if they cannot push this pace a little bit, Pep. And that's what has shown. They have not scored over 90 points yet. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the pace they play. And like I said, this is not Paulo's fault because he pretty much is the primary playmaker. Paulo doesn't play at a fast pace, though. He plays at his pace. And like I said, in a sense, if somebody can help him out with the playmaking duties, that's fine. But right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're playing at a faster pace, and that's not what. And as you see, they haven't scored over 100 points. But to me, that's been the difference in this game. Is just like I said, they're just playing quicker than these guys, getting up more shot attempts. Orlando is shooting atrocious from three. They are the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA, so that's not surprising. But they're also shooting, I think, under 40% from field goal. That is surprising. But shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who is also a good defensive team with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley down there anchoring those guys. It'll be nice to see Orlando now hold on and do what they're supposed to do and maybe tie this series up, winning 2 at home. But if they keep playing like this, this might be over by Saturday. Pep, what do you see from this series?
Okay. I'm glad you made those great points. You especially made a great point about what you felt that how the Magic would start off kind of shaky because of the experience of the Cavaliers. And it's totally played out that way.
Yeah.
So this is not unexpected to me. Is there time to panic? Absolutely not. And the reason why is you said it. The home teams are supposed to hold serve at home, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So being down 0-2 on the road, see, every road team goal is to split.
Yep.
I mean, there's no road team that's going to say, we're going to come in here and beat you both times on your court. No, even the Boston Celtics don't say that. Boston Celtics says, we're going to beat you one of these games, but we're taking one of them at least, right? So the goal is to split. But a team like the Magic, okay, so you didn't split. Now it's your turn to go home and hold serve. Now, the problem is it makes game 3 a must win.
Yep.
You cannot fail. If you fail in game 3, the series is over.
Yep. We already know what that stat is on
Yep.
teams that go down.
So, especially in the NBA,
Yep.
It's only happened like once in hockey and once or twice in Major League Baseball. So that's a death knell for you if you go down 0-3. So I'm not panicking if I'm the Magic. I'm just got to say, look, man, let's get home, our familiar surroundings. Our crowd will be behind us. And we, like you said, we got to give Paulo some help.
Yep.
Paulo played 41 minutes, 21 points, only 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Franz Wagner had 18 tonight.
Well, he had 17 in the first half. Okay.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. You got shut down, and then Mo Wagner had 12, basically, and then Harris had 14.
Which he's having a pretty solid.
Yeah,
pretty solid game.
But what's going on with Cole Anthony? What's going on with Markelle Fultz? What's going on with Joe Ingles?
Jalen Suggs.
Jalen Suggs. I mean, come on, man.
I'm, and this is where coaches get paid to make adjustments. I don't know how I feel about Jonathan Isaac being in that starting lineup. I know you want to have a defender out there, but he's not guarding Donovan Mitchell. He's not guarding. He's not even guarding. What's his name?
Mobley.
Evan Mobley. That Paulo's guarding him. So now it kind of makes it even easier defensively to guard the Orlando Magic because I'm not worried about him sitting in the corner. You can shoot as many threes as you want.
He got 3 points today.
Yeah, he had 1
20
for 7.
minutes.
Jalen Suggs is not really the best shooter too. So like I said,
Which is surprising because in college he was lighting it up.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. But you can't shoot 25% from three.
No.
And 36% from field goal. And you can't do that and expect to win a playoff game.
No.
I don't care how good of a defensive team you are.
Right.
You got to be able to score the ball just enough to win games. That's not enough. So yes, I agree with you. Not necessarily panicking, but I am having my sense of urgency is super high.
Super.
And,
Yeah.
The head coach for the Orlando Magic needs to make the right adjustment because he didn't make them from 1 and 2. They got up by 20 again in this game.
Right.
So it wasn't close. So that means something that you're doing is not working, and it needs to be adjustment.
There you go.
Now with the other team that's up 2-0, Pepe, New York Knicks pulled out a really good game
Go
today.
New York, go New York, go.
This was a really good game. When I came into the studio today, Pep, the 76ers was up 1 with up 2, I think, with about a minute left.
Yeah.
And Dante DiVincenzo hit a big 3 with about, I think,
Ex-Warrior.
Yeah.
Ex-Buck.
I know, man.
So he's been in the situation.
Yeah.
That's not new to him.
Yeah. And the role players for the New York Knicks are playing out of their minds. We saw who's the other one?
Hartenstein?
No, he's playing pretty well.
Hart?
We saw Josh Hart had a big game yesterday, turned around and had 21 and 15 today.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hartenstein is doing a really good job on Joel Embiid.
14 and 8.
Yeah. And DiVincenzo is doing a really good job. And yeah, Jalen Brunson's getting his numbers. He's not shooting well.
I was about to say that.
He's not shooting well. So shout out to the 76ers for doing a pretty good job on him.
Mm-hmm.
But those role players is the difference so far in between this game. Joel Embiid did what he did, 34 and 10. Tyrese Maxey, who was under the weather, at 35 and 10 and 9 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle Lowry just had big moments in this game. We're gonna keep saying his name over and over, Pep, and I don't see any reason why he will be back in the 76ers jersey again. Tobias Harris needs to step up.
Oh my gosh, we say this every year. With him. You know, Tobias Harris. I mean, this guy is stealing so much money.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think he needs to be more aggressive. 11 shots isn't going to cut it. And only making 4 women in 10 points is not going to cut it.
No.
They need to find a third scorer, especially with Joel Embiid playing hobbled. Somebody between him or Kelly Oubre is going to have to.
Somebody made a point I read today on Embiid. And was it? I can't remember who it was. But they said, bro, he's 7'2" and he's over 300 pounds. He needs to lose weight.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to, stop being injured so much and, let go some wear and tear on that knee, you need to lose some weight.
Yeah.
It's critical, and it's hard to be critical of a guy that was MVP, right? Or MVP caliber, and is obviously the best player on the Sixers. He's the guy that they go to. He's the number one option, bar none, on that team. But look, man, he's a liability as far as longevity.
Yeah.
And how he can remain healthy. And this is a must-win again for Philly, game 3. Now, I expect them to play better. But you know who I expect to play better in Philly? Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
He's a Philly guy. His dad played at Temple. He was at Philly.
Well, the Knicks have 3 guys who played in Philadelphia, Villanova.
Yeah. So they're going to be DiVincenzo, right? One of and Josh Hart. Yeah. So they're going to be motivated. You can downplay that all you want to, but they've handled Philly all season long. So yeah, they struggled in these 2 games, but they won. So
that's all that matters.
Yes.
And today in the playoffs.
Exactly. They found a way to win. So Philly has to win game 3 or they're going to be saying good adios.
And just like you kind of said with the last series, if there is one team who has great home advantage, it's the 76ers. Those fans are going to ride with them, and it's going to be really loud in Philly.
Yeah.
So I think that will be a spark. I do see Philadelphia winning game 3. I can't really tell what's going to happen game 4 yet, but I do see Philadelphia winning game 3, and I see this being a 6-7 game series.
Okay.
Just
I can see it too.
Just watching that last game, man, the adjustments was made for Philadelphia. I think they're doing a really good job with Jalen Brunson. Just like you said, though, I don't know how long that's going to last. So now it's you're allowing Josh Hart to see the wide open You're allowing him to get wide open shots in DiVincenzo. Now that is going to have to change, and maybe you do take a little bit of seeing or of Jalen Brunson seeing so many bodies being thrown at him. Maybe you do play him a little more one-on-one, and maybe you get his, but you take away those other guys getting 20 plus points.
Right.
That can't happen.
Right.
So
good point.
I think there will be an adjustment there. As long as Joel Embiid's body hold up. And then another thing too, and I think it's hard in this series for him to play because it's such a defensive-minded game. But I would like to see more of Buddy Hield. Especially if Tobias Harris and Kelly Oubre aren't going to do anything.
Yeah.
You know what Buddy Hield can do out there. He's going to spread the floor.
He's a solid offensive player, and I don't understand why he doesn't get more minutes.
Agree.
He should be getting Tobias Harris's minutes, some of those. Now, look, I get Hield's not going to get you the dirty work. He's not going to get you some rebounds and things, and he's not you wouldn't call him a stellar defender, would you?
Who? Kelly Oubre?
No.
Buddy Hield?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's why he's not playing that much.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, yes, Kelly Oubre's a long
he's got to step
wing.
up too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, he has to do his job too.
He can do it too.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got the skill level. Yeah, for sure.
So we got go ahead.
I was going to say, because he did get hit by a car earlier this year. I don't know if those are lingering effects, but he seems to be fine out there.
Yeah.
I see him running and dunking and defending. So, but Phillies, they got a must game coming up for game 3. Can we go to Bucks and Pacers?
Yeah, that was definitely next on my list.
Okay.
This is another series, Pep. The Bucks took on game 1, took one on the road, or no, one at home. Again, once again against the Pacers. For me, I know a lot of people saw this series maybe with the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, I picked the Pacers.
Yeah. For me, this is the same thing with that Cleveland series. I just think that there is more leadership and veterans on this roster for the Bucks, even without Giannis, who has been there. The Pacers don't have that outside of Siakam for the most part. I think Miles Turner has touched the playoffs, but not as being the guy. So when we're talking about star power, the guys that you start to lean on when it matters, I give more towards the Bucks. Damian Lillard's been here before. He had 35 points in the first half. Chris Middleton been here before. Champion had a triple double. Even the role players from Bobby Portis had a really good game to Brook Lopez, Jay Crowder. There's a lot of guys over there that has been in this situation before, and the Pacers just hasn't. A lot of young guys on the team. So I'm interested in to see Carlisle's adjustments. You can't let Dame run wild for 35 points in the first half. That just can't happen.
No.
But once again, this is all dependent how long this series goes, dependent on how long Giannis is out. If Giannis isn't ready for game 2, I'm with you. I do like the Pacers' chances in game 2 to tie this series up and go back to Indiana 1-1. If there was a team on the Eastern Conference side who I can see tying this up, it's them. There's one player who hasn't really been playing that great over the last couple months that I need to see the old spark out of him again. That's Tyrese Halliburton.
Nailed it, because I was about to mention him.
It's been a while, and they go as far as he goes. It's not going to be – it's yes, Siakam as well, because he's been here and he is their best scorer.
Yeah, 36.
Yes, but Halliburton is the engine. He's the one who gets everybody else going, gets himself going, opens up the floor, pace, everything. So he has to get going. And I know he's been dealing with a lingering hamstring issue. I don't know if that's the issue, but he's on the court, and it's the playoffs, and there's no excuses.
Yeah, if you're on the court, you ain't hurt. Halliburton is what? An Olympian now.
Exactly.
So he had 9 points. He didn't even get double figures. That can't happen. And it can't happen and then expecting to win.
Yep.
He got 9 points, 8 assists, which is good, and 7 rebounds, which is also good. He's a playing guard. But 9 points, bro, you gotta have at least 20. He's gotta have at least 20. And that's just the low end.
Yep.
I'm saying of if you're gonna score a lot, that's the low end.
Yeah.
Because he's got to bring it. I mean, Siakam, he brought
He did
it.
his job.
He did what he did what they got him to do. So it's on
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese now, and he's playing at home. I mean, he's from the Milwaukee area. So he needs to step it up, or they're going to be going home.
Yeah. If Tyrese Halliburton's going to play like this may be over.
Yeah, it's over.
5 or 6. Yeah.
He can't. Yeah.
And then the last series in the Eastern Conference, I don't know if there's much to talk about on my end, Pep. The Miami Heat and Boston Celtics, it was proven that they're just not going to have enough in this series if Jimmy Butler's not on the floor and Tyree Rozier, but mainly Jimmy Butler. There's just not going to be enough offense to go.
No Jimmy, no jam.
Yep.
I mean, that's just straight up. They're not good. They don't have a shot. I mean, look, they're gonna. To be honest, this year, even with Jimmy, it was going to be a struggle.
Yeah,
there's going to be struggle, but without him, they got no shot.
Yeah.
So you might as well just go ahead and pencil Boston in.
Yeah.
Well, you can put it in pen.
Yeah. Yeah. That's permanent.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people said that this is the series that they want to see the most. But just like you said, this ain't last year's Boston Celtics.
No.
Even with Jimmy Butler, this was going to be a tough series. Without Jimmy Butler, they don't have a punch.
Boston made 2 pickups that surprised everyone, but they were brilliant. And one was Drew Holiday.
Yep.
And Kristaps Porzingis.
Yep.
Those were brilliant additions to that team.
Agree.
So
yeah, on the Western Conference side, once again, we had all the home teams win. The fun matchup was last night for me, the Pelicans and the Thunder. To start off with, the Pelicans squeaked out a gritty game between the Pelicans. And to me, Pep, that's going to be the most funnest series because there's just a bunch of young guys out there just hooping and playing basketball. We saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He had a really good game. Jalen Williams had a really good game. And the anchor down low, the rookie, I can't think of his name now. Chet Holmgren had a really good game, 15-11.
Yeah.
But to me, the unsung hero in this game, and will be the unsung hero throughout the playoffs for these guys, is Lou Dort.
Yes.
He is going to make his paycheck. People wondered why the Thunder paid him $70 million a couple years ago. This is why.
He's a steady guy.
And he is, in my opinion, a top 3 defender in the league. He did a really good job on Brandon Ingram yesterday. Held him to 5 of 17 shooting.
Yes.
Just being a super aggressive, gritty defender, getting up into Brandon Ingram, who's a smaller frame guy. He made him work for every one of those 12 points, man. And
yeah, but the thing is, what bothers me is all through all that, they only won by 2.
Yes. And I think this is why a lot
red flag.
Yep. This is why a lot of, the teams that were in the play-in would have no problem wanting to play OKC in the first round, because I think the struggle is to score and having the consistent guys find buckets outside of Shai Gilgeous and a little bit of Jalen Williams. So I think this is going to be a 7-game series. I know it's a 1-8 matchup. I think this is going to be a 7-game series, in my opinion. I do think the Thunder will hold down fort and they will win 2. They will hold down home, because I heard the Thunder was in the loudest arena so far in the playoffs.
Right.
But I think the Pelicans will do their job too when they get back home. So
yeah, Pelicans CJ has got to hit shots.
Yep.
He has to hit shots. He can't go 9 for whatever, 28 or whatever.
Agree.
Consistently if you think you're going to win, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fake Sonics, hey.
The next one, the Clippers and Mavericks. Clippers took that one at home.
That was a surprise.
Yeah.
The way they dismantled them. The score doesn't indicate how bad it was.
But that's another one of these games where the Clippers, the difference is going to be the role players. The Dallas Mavericks role players are going to have to step up. It can't just be Kyrie and Luka getting it done. That's not going to be enough, especially against the Clippers. I think the Luka and Kyrie was 64 points out of 97. That can't happen. Only 3 guys in double digits against the Clippers, while those guys had 5 guys in double digits on the other end, led by James Harden, who had a really good stellar game. Now, we've heard this story before. We've seen James Harden come out in a playoff series and come out like this and then fall flat on his face.
You get 46 in one game, and the next game he'll get 7.
So that'll be another interesting see what happens there. I'm going to say the Clippers do go back to Dallas 2-0. I'm not by much, but I do think they will. And then, my Phoenix Suns, they got off to kind of a lowly start against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota Timberwolves took that one. But now we're seeing, the surgence of somebody becoming elite superstars, you would like to say, in Anthony Edwards, who averages 28 points a game in playoffs so far. He gave the Suns a whooping. that hopefully maybe woke them up because he put it on them, Kevin Durant especially, but everybody. And a little worrisome from the Suns. Grayson Allen got hurt second quarter, did not come back. He's questionable. But Devin Booker did not get off to a good start. This is a guy who got off to a great start in the playoffs last year. So I'm going to also give a shout out to Jaden McDaniels, who did a really good job just making it tough on him.
Well, Minnesota's the number one defensive team in the league. And people overlook the fact that, okay, yeah, the Suns beat them 3 times in the regular season and the Wolves didn't win any.
Yep.
But this is the playoffs.
Doesn't matter.
It does not matter. And Booker and Beal can't be ho-hum.
Yep.
That's just
Can't.
I mean, they had 18 and 15. For me, if I had 18, I'd be, I'd be racing through the city.
Yeah.
But no, Booker is better than that. And this is the playoffs, buddy. I mean, KD brought his game. He had 31, but Booker 18 and Beal 15 is is pedestrian.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And especially against a good defensive team like Minnesota, even though they're young, right? Minnesota's young, and this is pretty much their first opportunity to do something. But they have veterans. They got Conley. Gobert's been there before, right? So they're not necessarily green. And then of course you got six man of the year candidate Naz Reid.
Yep.
Right. And then of course we know with McDaniels lockdown defender, but he could score as well. When he can get it together. He only had 9, but you know what? They didn't need it.
Yeah. The Suns shot 44% and 32 from 3. I don't expect that to happen in game 2. So
no.
I'm going to say the Suns hopefully wake up and win game 2 and
go
back to Phoenix 1-1.
In this game, this goes along with what I was saying about the Magic. If you go down 0-2, it's not time to panic because you're going home now. Okay. The Timberwolves they're a number 2, 3 seed. And they did what they were
supposed to do. Yeah.
They did what they were supposed to do. They are a good team.
Pep, you'd be surprised how many people just hit me up and they were wondering if I'm panicking. Like the Timberwolves weren't supposed to do their job and win game 1. I don't know.
Exactly. and they might win game 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I expect Phoenix to do better.
Yep.
And I expect it to go back to Phoenix 1-1.
Okay.
I do.
I agree with you.
I think it'll be 1-1. But like I said, if Minnesota wins game 2, Phoenix has no reason to panic.
No panic.
Because they can go home and hold serve. Because the Timberwolves normally do not play well in Phoenix.
Yep.
And I know a team that I always seem to always get bombed down there, and that was Supersonics.
Yeah.
I watched it for years. We played great, go down to Phoenix and get smoked all the time. So that could happen. Yeah. And then you come back 2-2. That's a different ball game. So
and then
we'll see.
Last series before we get out of here, Nuggets, Lakers. Nuggets won by double digits. Jokic is just too much. And right now, the Lakers are actually up 38-34 in game 2.
38-37 now.
37 now, 38? Okay. I do see the Nuggets going back to LA 2-0. But I'm interested to see what the adjustments were this game. And I still do think, I know a lot of people, like me, don't like the Lakers, but I'm giving them a puncher's chance. Very small puncher's chance.
This game's almost a carbon copy of game 1.
Yeah.
The Lakers played well in the first half.
Exactly.
Held a big lead, blew it all, took a LeBron James 3-point at the buzzer to take the lead, and then second half, and they got smoked.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens in game 2, because if it happens again in game 2, then you got to question what kind of coach Darvin Ham is.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember, I told you, he's somebody who has a lot of pressure on him coming to this game.
Absolutely.
Good point.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it. I hope everybody enjoyed our conversation today. Listen to us next week to your favorite radio show, LidLine Sports, right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. I'm Pep on behalf of O. We'll see you guys next week. Holla.